Hey, good afternoon, Drew. How's it going?
Man, all is well. I'm excited to talk to you about this book, Becoming the One, with Ed Mylett. Really good, challenging book. I know you got in and read it yourself. I'm interested to hear your thoughts, how it impacted you, and how you think it particularly plays out in life.
Yeah. Well, it's actually a pretty good book. I really enjoyed it. Yeah. So I got my copy right here. The cool thing is we found out about this author based on a podcast that your detention facility allowed you to listen to, and I think
Yeah.
that motivated you about some of the ideas this guy had, and I thought it was really pretty cool. Um, and so I got the book. I actually bought it on Kindle, and I listened to it in the audiobook too. There's a lot of He's an aggregator, right? He brought together a bunch of ideas that's probably from different people. Think and Grow Rich is like one of the probably the older books, but has really nice quotes inside of it. Uh, but he brought together a lot of key ideas that we've been talking about over the last couple of years. One the big one for me is his articulation of the matrix. Hey, do you want to live in Wonderland, or do you want to live deliberately? Towards a meaningful life. And to me, that was pretty huge because I see a lot of people that are just carried away with distraction. They're stuck in their rut. They're eating marshmallows and watching TV in this life, and not really being deliberate and trying to make the best of it. And he says you got to recognize that because that's a part of our existence. And he calls that the matrix. And if you slow down and start deliberately programming yourself, your subconscious and your conscious thinking, and start pruning and developing your habits, really focus your life on some key things that can make a huge difference in where you go in life. So that, to me, that was pretty big. I don't know. Did you grasp that matrix piece
That's
or?
good. No, that's good. No, I mean, it's weird how you and I will read the same book and different things will impact us differently. And, this book is called The Power of One More. And its basic premises is that we're all stopping one rep short of becoming who we really want to become. One thing I really like is he said this in the podcast, and I think he mentions it in the book as well, is he said he believes that at the end of your life, you meet the version of yourself that you could have became, and you see how much of a difference there is between you and that person. And it's recognizing that we have a greater potential in this lifetime. But we're not going to reach our potential based on inspiration alone. It's going to be based on habits. And that's where we fall short. And that's why he says the power of one more. I need to take one more step. I need to journal one more thought. There's one more thing I need to do that's actually going to break me through from getting out of where I am to where I really want to be. Another thing that he kind of goes into in the podcast um, was becoming the one, which kind of sticks with the theme of the one more. But becoming the one in your family that changes the direction of your family, the destiny that your family leaves and walks in. Um, and he came out of a rough background with alcoholism in his family, and he completely transformed the impact that he had on his family, and now where his family is living with today. And it really came down to how he organized and programmed his own life. And so I want to start with, I'll give you one quote, is he says right here, if you want to change your thinking, change the questions you ask yourself. I've been telling guys around here, a lot of us are searching for answers. And the same is true for people out there. A lot of us are searching for answers, but really what we need to be searching for is the right questions. Because once you have the right question, that is the beginning process of getting you to the right answer. We don't have the right questions, and therefore you're never going to get the right answer. So if you improve the quality of the questions that you're asking yourself in life about your happiness, about your health, about your wealth, about where you want to go and who you want to be remembered as, you'll start finding the solutions to these questions. which really leads us to the power of reflection. So, what was it? Plato said, the unexamined life isn't worth living. And I think that's where a lot of this ties into more things that he says in his book and in this podcast about how he's reflecting on his life is determining how he's setting goals for his life. And then based on those goals, acknowledging what habits I need to drill down in, because inspiration won't always be with you. You're not always going to be inspired to get up at 4:45, 5 a.m. in the morning, or to study, or to stretch, or to meditate, right? Habits will sustain you when inspiration fails you.
Yep.
And habits will be the difference between the greatness maker in your life. And so you have to have reflection combined with goal setting to really start figuring out what habits do I really need in my life.
Yeah. To me, yeah. So you're describing some of those hows, right? But the bigger concept there is recognizing that, hey, you're in this matrix. You're gonna have it's gonna try to distract you and pull you down into different rabbit holes. But it's really key for you, I think. Program your thinking, conscious and subconscious. Against aspirational virtues that you want to work towards, behaviors, goals, like you were saying. But another key part of that is identity, is recognize the identity that you want to be, right? And, so I've actually been doing this, and I got this from Brian Johnson, but it's almost like Brian Johnson read this book a couple years ago, and he's like, oh, yeah, that's a great idea. So he flipped it into his own, daily journal. But I have an identity that I write out, a couple times a week, if not daily, against energy, love, wisdom, work, and prosperity. And I want to be that strategic leader of learners. I want to be a trusted coaching exemplar. I want to be a growth catalyst for others, or a family provider. Those are my identities that I have in those different categories that really tries to set the temperature of my life, right? And I want to be a really high temperature, high ceiling. I don't want to have an identity that like becomes a limiter or a ceiling that precludes my progress, because how you think about yourself and what you aspire to is really going to set the limits. And so to me, that was part of the frame and everything. And like you said, be objective about your life, reflect on it, and make sure that you're trying to make progress. So to me, that was pretty big. And a big part of identity is associations, right? And through proximity, you absorb the traits, actions, and beliefs of the people you associate with. And um, so I think you're a pretty awesome person, and I benefit from talking to you here every week or every other week. um, and you help me learn and grow too, because you were asking me some good questions last weekend. So
I could parrot the same thing back to you. And when I think about the evolution of your military career and how you rose in rank and position and different responsibilities, and also me sitting here in prison right now, trying to grow through custody levels, and with the custody level that I ascend to in life, my responsibility set is changing. So the greater your responsibility, the greater your. If you have absolutely no responsibilities, I guarantee you are absolutely not free. And when you're sitting in an 8x10 with a toilet in there, you have no responsibilities, but you also have no life. And I know I've been in these shoe boxes for many, many months at a time. But you hit on something important as identity, and the things that we really achieve in our life are identity driven. Whether that's being married, having a family, for me, even being a Christian. It has to be something more than what I do. It has to be what I am.
Yeah.
Also, healthy fitness. I've been working out for the better part of 25 years. And in the beginning, it was something I did. And then eventually it became something that I am.
Yep.
And so, there's a quote by Malcolm X here that, and I don't think I've ever really quoted this guy in my life.
Yeah.
But this one really stood out to me. He says, that which you do not hate, you will eventually tolerate. And life is really filled with, God, am I loving the right things and hating the right things? What led my life to such a tight box is I didn't love what I should have loved, and I hated what I should have loved. I hated the
Uh,
wrong things.
yeah.
So here I am in my life now, and I'm still dealing with the same matrix like you started out talking about, is that I need to figure out what are the right things to cherish, what are the right responsibilities, and what are the things that I have to detest. Now here's the complex problem. When I have the right responsibilities, but I eliminate the distractions that war against my responsibilities or my goals, or the man I hope to become, or the mark I hope to leave. And that's why he says the number one driving force of the human psyche is to stay congruent with the ideas that we carry of ourselves.
Yep.
So every day, like this journal that we have been, I'm writing things down about not only what I want to accomplish in the day, not, like I have a workout schedule here in a couple hours, but what I hope to become as a result of these things.
Yep.
And then the important thing is acknowledging what I have to say no to in order to say yes to these few things. You
Yeah.
have to say 1,000 no's to say a few precious yeses.
Yep. Yep.
And I think and that is talking about becoming the one. Because not many people walk off 27 years in prison and go on to lead a highly successful, rewarding life after that. That chunk of a sentence is meant to kind of really break you down. But I knew early that I wanted to be the one. And there's more than just me. But I knew early that something had to be dynamic about how I shifted the way I thought and approached life. I
Yep.
didn't have the mechanics down yet. I didn't. I knew that I had to put great weight on me, but I did not know how I was going to manage that weight. And habit formation and identity are the two things how you manage the weight in life.
Yep.
I read something the other day. It said that. Let me read this quote to you. Not only do I want you to hear it, but I want everybody that's listening to hear it. It is just a few pages back. It says, if you're strong in spirit, you could take almost any beating life hands you. But if your core belief system is weak, you will struggle because you do not have a system to show you the way out when life gets tough. In life, it is not if you become trapped, it is when.
Yeah.
And so I think the reflection, the habit formation, choosing the identity over the feeling, these are the things that show us the way out.
Yep.
And when I was on the streets and I was dealing with drugs, gangs, and terrible influences on my life, I didn't have a system, a core belief system to show me a way out.
Yep.
And I know my life is an extreme example, but people can kind of distill it down to what fits them.
Yeah.
Go ahead. I'm sorry, I took up too much time.
No, I like that, Drew. Can you please send me that quote by email? But
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah, so I was talking with a friend this morning when I was walking the dogs, and he was out for a jog. We talked about a key aspect of. I told him about this book, and that we were having this video today, and um, we talked about leadership and the ability to think and influence your domain. Whatever space you're operating in. 3 to 4 moves into the future. To be able to see and navigate upcoming obstacles and opportunities to your advantage or your team's advantage really is a key aspect of leadership. And to me, this programming of the matrix is essential to that. And I think it gets at exactly what you're talking about, because if you have a good system and process, that can help, because you're going to have bad days, to help get you out of those ruts and get you back up into a band of excellence, that's key. And Another portion that I really liked in his book was some of his ideas that he talked about time management. Is that it's really vital
Yeah.
for you to concentrate on, time as a critical resource. And he talked about
Yeah.
organizing his days into multiple days. And that was pretty transformative for
Oh
me.
yeah.
And I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna be a workaholic like
That
he
guy
is.
almost
Where,
flew over my head.
yeah, he's not.
He makes 3 days out of one day.
Yeah,
But
I think that's pretty cool though. And I'm actually gonna try it. Now I'm not gonna do 3 6-hour
man,
days in
triple
one
your life.
day, because I'm not gonna burn myself into the ground. But I still think that, hey, from the time I wake up, let's say I wake up at 5 in the morning till 11 in the morning. Hey, let's call that one day, and then let's assess it
Yeah.
as soon as you're done. And then I'm going to use 11 to 4 as another day, and then 4 to 8 as another day. Now I'm going to have different goals in each of those days. Like 4 to 8 at night is going to be family time, and what am I going to accomplish in that day? I think that can really improve what I accomplish on a daily basis. And part of
Well,
that, though,
that is a. I'm sorry to cut you off, but that is an abstract thing, and I can't wait to hear your feedback on how that works for you. But he does in the book. He says seek to structure the first 30 minutes and the last 30 minutes of your day.
yep,
And I think that is a really attainable thing for people to start out. Like, can I for the first 30 minutes that I want to drink my vitamins, stretch, and meditate?
yep,
In the last 30 minutes, what is my wind down routine?
yep,
And if you could start to take control of just those small measurements to your day, then that will help you to add structure. Um, because life throws curveballs at you, but what you don't want to do is just basically come crashing through the door into the bed, and you had really no control in those last, you know, 45 minutes, 30 minutes of your life
yep.
that day. You know,
Hey, that
and that's something that's helped me.
I and he has a quote here. Learn how to control your time instead of time controlling you. Measure your performance often. So what you just highlighted is if you work to manage the beginning and the end of every day, that can
Yeah,
really change your life dynamic. And really your day begins the previous night, because if you close out that day
yeah,
and you reflect on it and you say, hey, I didn't accomplish this, I need to accomplish this tomorrow, and then you get to bed early so you get a good night's sleep, and then you wake up fresh, and then you set your table early, right? You say, okay, these are the things I got to do. Let's focus, let's set your matrix, right? These are the priorities of my life. These are
yeah,
the virtues and emotions I want to bring to
yeah,
the various meetings and people I'm going to engage. And you set yourself intentionally, with the identity in mind. Then I really
yeah,
think that's what's going to make a difference and set you up.
yeah.
um, yeah, it's pretty powerful. So yeah,
Amen.
his emphasis on time management I thought was fantastic.
Well, look, man, great conversation. I want to encourage everybody to. Can you hold up your book?
Yep, yep. I got a
Please
glisp.
encourage everybody to check out this guy, Ed Mylett, The Power of One More. You can also go to the podcast, which is called The Model Health Show with Sean Stevenson. And just so that it's 546 is with Ed Mylett. Really good podcast. Guy really has some really great theories for how to live life at a higher level. And you, cousin, I love you, man. It was great talking to you about this book. I look forward to the next one.
Yep, yep. It's always good to talk to you. And here's the final quote we can end it up with. A man is judged by the company he keeps, and a company is judged by the men it keeps. And the people of a democratic nations are judged by the type and caliber of officers they elect. That's a pretty
And that
interesting.
last part about the people, say the last part about the people of a democratic nation.
Nations are judged by the type and caliber of the officers they elect.
Uh,
That's pretty
that's a good
interesting. And
one.
Yeah, it's pretty
It's pretty
interesting in these
interesting.
times of Biden and Trump, ain't it? You
Yeah.
know,
Hey, man, I love you. Have a great week, man.
I love you too. Take care.
All right, we'll talk to you. Bye.